All right, welcome traders. We get asked all the time, can you actually learn how to trade? Can you even pass an evaluation account? Like, is that really something that you can do? And, I don't want you to take my word for it. I have a really awesome guest with me. His name is Nick, and I want him to tell you his experience and his story. So, welcome, Nick. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Tracy?
I'm fantastic. I'm really glad you could make it today and join me. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your trading journey so far.
I'm an IT and cybersecurity guy as my full-time job, and then part-time I'm a trader. I started trading back in January of 2023 after taking a 90-day master class. Prior to that, I'd never taken a trade. I didn't know anything about stocks or futures or anything like that. So I was really starting from ground zero.
So, what exactly did you do to try and learn how to trade?
Well, I took that 90-day masterclass, which was a lot of information, kind of information overload, but learned a lot. I watched some YouTube videos. I found you guys, Push Button Trading, and took some of your classes. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I got here.
Okay. Most of your classes, were they live or were they kind of self serving classes, or how did that work?
They were mostly live classes. I watched a lot of webinars and, like I said, YouTube videos as well. But
Okay.
yeah, I like the live courses myself.
That's awesome. What do you like about the live classes?
Just the one-on-one attention, and being able to ask questions and really learn from somebody who knows how to trade and is a good teacher as well.
Yeah, that question ability is quite profound. It can make a huge difference in your progress for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, up to this point, so before, you know, meeting us, what was the biggest challenge for you with learning to trade?
A couple things. First, information overload, because
Mhm.
I'm a geek by nature. That's kind of who I am, what I do. So always wanting to grab information, and there was so much information out there, so it was really hard to you know take it all in, absorb it, and then really apply it. The struggle would be the emotional aspect. It's said that
Ah,
trading brings out who you are as a person. So
yeah.
yeah, my lack of patience, my need to micromanage some details, that's been a struggle with me and my trading.
Well, that is common among a ton of different traders. I hear it a lot. And actually, a lot of the other issues that we hear with a lot of traders, a lot of struggles, generally actually comes back to what you just said, which is the psychological. They just don't know it. They haven't identified that that's really the problem. It affects the majority of traders. And it's funny because the majority of traders spend their time focusing on the skill set, the setup, the technical side of it, and they don't focus on the psychology, and you wonder why 95% of all traders fail. There
That's
might be some.
absolutely it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
how
been
has
my experience.
exactly, how has push button, both the technology and the company, helped in addressing these challenges for you?
The company, the classes push button offers are small and focused. So no more than like, I think 15 students in a class. So it's
Mhm.
not like some other classes I've taken where there've been like 50 students. So really, you get a one-on-one rapport with the instructor who really knows what they're doing, really helpful. So that's been a big help. And then Push Button has weekly classes on trading psychology, how to cope with losses, how to manage risk. That is invaluable. The technology side, y'all have the semi-automatic bots and the fully automatic bots, and the bots actually take the emotional component out. So you really focus on one specific strategy. You put in what your risk is, how much you're willing to risk, the start time, the type of strategy you want, whether it's an open range breakout or a snapback type strategy, which you learn about in the different classes. And it places those trades for you. So you're not micromanaging the trade. You're not watching it. It's doing it. You don't have to watch it all day. It takes care of it automatically. That just removes that whole emotional component, which is great. And on the semi-automatic bots, same type of thing. You're using a personal strategy. You're actually watching the charts and choosing, here's where I want to enter. But the bot's configured with, again, your risk, what your stop level is. It'll calculate the entry, the stop level, and the take profit based upon your pre-configured parameters. You don't have to program or anything. You just set up what you want it to do. You click go, and it places the trade. So that takes all the math and calculating how many contracts, how many shares of a stock, all that type of aspect out of it. So it makes it a lot easier and a lot more user friendly.
That's cool. And I'm sure that if you were good at math or good at calculating your position, it still makes it faster, right?
A lot faster. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a geek, so I like math. That was one of my favorite subjects. But yeah, I don't have time to do that, especially when you're looking at a really fast moving chart, like a 1 minute or a 3 minute chart. You don't have time to sit and calculate it. And you
Yeah.
might make an error where, it's a computer program. It doesn't make the error. It just calculates
Yeah.
it and gets you in right.
Nick, I want to congratulate you, first of all, because I understand that you recently just passed an evaluation account. Now, for those of you that don't know what an evaluation account is, it's basically a trial. You try out trading on a paper account, and if you successfully pass the evaluation, that account turns into real money for you. So, congratulations for that. And can you tell us a bit
Thank you.
about how you did that, how long it took you to do it, and kind of what strategies you implemented to get there?
First of all, thank you. Appreciate that. It
Yeah.
was an exciting ride. Um, so the way I did it was I took a class from push button trading on a specific strategy, the hammer strategy. And then I used the push button bot, that semi-automatic bot I talked about, to get the funded. That's the only thing I used for getting this account funded. I first did a back test, so looking at historical data, placing those trades, and taking an initial $50,000 play money account, growing it up to the threshold, which would get it funded. Once I did that, then I went and created a paper trading account, which again is fake money, but you're making those trades live while the market's open. And then I grew that $50,000 account by that threshold to get it funded. So at that point, I knew I'd done it twice. It wasn't a fluke the first time, which could well have been, but I did it twice. So then I had the confidence to, put the money up for an assessment account. Um, I went through two assessment accounts, so my total loss in investment, I guess you should say, in that was less than $100. But on that third attempt, then I passed it. So now I have a 50K real money account, and it cost me, a little over $100.
So how many trades did you actually take? Do you remember?
I don't remember the trades, but it was in 2 days. It was 2 days worth of trading.
2 days, but how much did you gain on the 2 days? Like how
It
much did you grow
was
the account?
$3,000, a little over
Okay.
$3,000.
Okay. Now, and did you say there was two attempts that you made or one attempt?
I made two attempts and failed. Learned quickly what not to do. And
Okay.
part of that was just the way they calculate their drawdown. So I was not used to the way it did that. So
Yeah.
it's something I learned quickly. I had to watch out for. So it
Okay.
just made me, approach my trades just a little bit differently, but not much.
Awesome. So the question I want to ask you then is the two failed attempts, had that been real money where you were practicing with your own account, how much would you have lost?
Over $5,000.
Over $5,000. And how much of real money
Yes.
did you actually lose?
Less
You
than
said 100.
$100.
Less than $100. It is a no-brainer for me to learn this way. I think that using a funded account for the learning process makes so much sense for that reason, because you can leverage the amount of losses, which turns into an ability to learn, because your losses are either going to be a learning opportunity or an earning opportunity. That's what I like to say anyway. And
Exactly.
as a newer trader, you have a lot more learning opportunities than you have for earning opportunities. So yeah, it's a no-brainer. I don't wanted you to do the math and share that with other people, what you actually
Yeah.
lost and what it cost you. But now you're making real money because your account is past the threshold in the evaluation.
Yeah.
You got your acceptance and now you're trading real money.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. And I will be making a withdrawal early next month. So it'll be great.
Congratulations. And are you going to be starting another
Thank you.
assessment, or are you going to keep using the one
I
you
already
got?
have.
So
I
you're
already
already getting
have.
another one on the go. Okay.
Already have.
Awesome.
Yes.
That is incredible. That is just great. So what do you feel it takes for someone who's trying to learn to trade, but struggling with consistency?
I think my biggest game changer was stopping chasing shiny objects, this strategy, that strategy, really just finding one strategy, which for me was the hammer strategy, and just really working on that and working on only that until I got good at it. So
Mhm.
again, I passed my back test account, I passed my paper trading account, I passed my assessment account. Now I'm working on my other account, but really focusing on that one strategy, and just really getting good at that. Now, once I really continue to get better at that over time, then I might look at a different strategy. But right now, I just wanted to focus on one thing. And to me, that was a really big thing, as well as reminding myself constantly that it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Right.
Not going to, wasn't looking to get funded in 2 days, wasn't looking to get funded overnight. If it takes a month, that's great. That's fine. But really not being in a rush, which, the impatience side of me, again, the emotional aspect is you want everything now, but really being able to just step back and say, okay, if I have a good day, I got a good trade. Today I had 2 winning trades. I was like, I'm done. It was, an hour in. I'm like, I still got 7 hours left, but I was done because I didn't want to risk it.
Yeah, this is all really great information, Nick. Now, I do want to ask you, because you mentioned about chasing shiny objects. Now, you the hammer strategy, I know what strategy this is because I'm the one that taught it to you. There's nothing special about that strategy. There's a lot of great strategies out there. So I'm curious what got you to stop chasing strategies and start focusing on the one.
I know my brain, and it was just too overwhelming just to be able to look at charts and say, oh, I could jump in there. And it was really, I was finding myself making trades not based on a particular strategy because I didn't have a strategy to follow. So I would look at something, I'm like, oh, I suspect that's going to go up. So I'd place a trade, a
Yeah.
bullish trade. And well, that's not how you trade. That's not the recipe for success. So to me, it was just about focus. Focus on one thing, do it well, then move on to something else.
Gotcha. And you just came across that on your own? Just came to that realization?
I I did.
Nice.
Just because what I had been doing wasn't working and it was stressful. And this
Yeah.
is so much more relaxed. I'm watching a trade. I'm like, oh, that's would be probably a good trade, but that's not my strategy. I'm not doing that. So I'd wait for my perfect trade to come up and I'd take it and watch it and it would work out.
Well, congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Because a lot of people, I think that's probably the biggest advice that they should take from what you're just saying right now is to get good at it. Get good at something, then you can build the tools. You can build more skills. You can build more whatever. Just make it last. Learn it. Absorb it. Right. Well, thank you very much, Nick. I really appreciate you taking the time to join me and go crush those accounts. I'm looking forward to seeing how you're doing in the next month. All right.
You're welcome. It was my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye.
Bye bye.